All right, vamos a empezar. So let me ajustar un poco. Buenos días todo el mundo. Okay, so I'm gonna just start standing up and I'm gonna take a second to kind of slow dance, bailar muy despacio, empujando por mis pies. I'm gonna just push through my feet and rock my weight a little bit side to side, por un pie, por otro pie. Good. And then from there, anchor my weight in the feet for a minute. Anclar el peso del cuerpo en los pies. And now just for a few rounds, circle with your tailbone. So if you have any tension in the low back, good. And then allow that to circle the other way. So really all you're doing here is just articulando espacio, just articulating space here with your coccyx. Good. And now let's move your tailbone back and then move it forward. So let your cat-cow focus there for a moment in your low back. La espalda baja. And we'll stretch arriba y abajo just a couple of times. Good, and then let's hold out here for a moment. Fly the arms out, roll the thumbs under, pulgares abajo, pulgares arriba, pulgares abajo, pulgares arriba. One more time, pulgares abajo y arriba. And then we're gonna take your arms up, sweeping to one side. Inspirando arriba, expirando, stretching to the other side. So I'm taking my hand behind my back today to kind of get a little bit deeper chest stretch. Un estiramiento por el pecho. Good. All the way over and back. Good. So now from here, let's inhale. Take your arms forward and then rock your two talones arriba. Pull the two heels up. Inhale the arms, float up, brazos arriba. Y ahora, talones arriba, brazos abajo. Good. Try one more, just like this. And then we're gonna lower down, take the arms to the side, and now lift the heels. Brazos a tu lado, y ahora, arriba, vamos a subir los talones. Good. And let's try that just one more time, una vez más. Beautiful. Pause here, take your chin over one shoulder, just waking up balance. Take your chin over your other shoulder. Good. Keeping your ribs, las costillas, la cadera estable. So keeping your torso stable while you turn the head. Beautiful. Set your heels down now. And then take weight into one foot, point and flex the foot in the air just a couple of times. Beautiful. Set that foot down. Let's try that on the other side. So push through your supporting heel, el talón abajo, while you point and flex. Good. All right, exhale, set that down. And now the opposite foot, you're gonna stretch and reach out and then pull the knee up towards the hip. So you're just got the heel down and up, heel down and up. Good, talón arriba y abajo. Try that on the other side. The heel reaches out and exhale up. And exhale up, exhale up, exhale up. Good. Last time, exhale up. Set that foot down. You're going to lift the opposite leg, open and close your hip. Good. And I'm just adding my arm for fun. Abriendo, cerrando el muslo y el brazo. Good. Try to keep the hips steady. Just move the femur bone. Setting those right back down, lifting this leg. Open and close. If it feels nice, add the opposite arm as well. Good. Just finding that stability through the opposite side. Beautiful. That foot moves down. Let the elbows graze the thighs. So they're just going to lightly move over the thighs. Codos sobre los muslos. And then you're just pushing air as we come down. Muy, muy, muy bien. Good. Let's take a little pause down here. Hands are going to press into the thighs. Lift one heel. Set it down, lift the other heel. Set it down, switch the heels, switch the heels. Good, and now 2 heels up, and then lightly just bring the sits bones down and up. Good, with the heels lifted, so playing with balance. Good. And then I'm gonna set my heels down, stand it back up once again, and move my feet un poco más ancho. Good, so start here, just shifting the weight from one foot, un pie, otro pie, and you can leave your heels connected to the floor as you move. Imagine your torso, la columna, bueno, vamos a mantener muy, muy, muy recta. You're gonna keep your spine straight, your hips and ribs steady, chest open, and just move the weight por cada pie. Good, now pause in the center, reach the thighs back, arms out, and then open. Good, we'll try that again. Arms out, thighs back, and then open your chest. Arms out, thighs back, abriendo el pecho. Good, try that a couple more times. Afuera, y ahora arriba. Afuera con los brazos, y arriba, muy bien. One more time. Pause down here, same thing. Shift the weight and stay low. So feel the knees, feel that lower body taking the weight, working with gravity. Good. And then from here, let's pause right there in your center. Exhale, let the fingertips come to the floor. Estirando la columna, you're going to stretch your spine, let the head colgar is going to hang. Good. And then vamos a mirar arriba. You're going to look up, bring your sits bones back. Exhale, empujamos por los pies. You push through the feet, bring yourself right back up. Good, let's try that one more time. Arriba. I really feel how much you can bring your hips, la cadera atrás. Bring your hips back and the head up. And then exhale, letting the head come down. Vamos a abrir and open. And now opposite hand is going to reach towards a foot. And so we're going to exhale, sweep, and lift. Good. Remember, this is a hinge from the hips. So estamos doblando el torso por la cadera. And then you're girando las costillas. You're twisting your ribs through, you're twisting your torso through your center. Good. Beautiful. So now let's pause, and on that one side, sweep your 2 arms all the way up and over, and then vamos a hacer lo otro lado. You're gonna stretch, stretch, stretch all the way over cada vez. Good, really working to keep your hips balanced, and then a sweep of the torso up, and then controlling the weight while you bajar, and then arriba. Última vez. Good. All right, so let's pause once again in our center, push through our feet, lift up. I'm going to turn my right toes out. Good, and let my arms float up as my right knee bends. So you can go with me with your left, mirror me, or go same, whatever is easier for your brain. Good. And we'll take this just a couple more times, letting the arms float up. Good, as the front knee bends, you can walk the toes out a little bit. Good, now let's hold down here. One elbow reaches towards that thigh, and then you'll reach away. So un codo abajo y ahora arriba. 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 Muy bien. Let's pause and sweep your weight once again through your center. Push through the feet, rising up. Turn the heels in. Take the opposite toes. Otro dedos afuera. Good. Brazos up, so arms up. Bend and straighten. Vamos a doblar y extender la rodilla y también los codos y hombros. Good. Down and up, down and up. Excellent. So now let's pause con la rodilla doblada. So you'll pause with the knee bend. Exhale, tap and reach. So you'll tap and reach, tap and reach, bajando, tocando el muslo con el codo. Good. A long stretch through your torso. And so again, we're trying to loosen up and stabilize kind of at the same time here. Let's pause, take that top arm forward, and then exhale, push through the feet to lift up. And then let's take all the toes out once again. Let the weight move down, 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 and hold. Take an arm up, take the opposite arm up, take a heel up and down, other heel up and down, lift two heels, two arms wide, lightly pulse the thighs. Press down and up. Feeling again your head right over the tail. Beautiful. Set the heels down. I'm gonna now turn to my right toe. So now I'm facing my left leg. Good. And then again, same thing, my hips are facing that direction also. Try to feel this relationship between your head and your tailbone. So maybe put one hand on the top of the head, one hand on your tail. Extend the spine forward. And then from here, find a little arch in your back as you come up. So you're gonna extend the spine forward, arch, pull the spine up, try that a couple times. So still opening your chest, extend, and up. One more time, extend, good, and push through the feet. Find that arch in your back and let the head rest for a moment in your hand. La cabeza descansando en la hamaca de la mano. Good. And then dos manos juntos. You'll take your two hands together. Estiramos los brazos. Take the arms back behind you. And then same thing. Just come stretch forward for a moment and really feel the head rise up over your shoulders. So this is spinal extension. Good. And then let's exhale. Pivot in your feet. Turn it around. And then we're going to take that opposite thing. Opposite movement, opposite side. So push through your back heel. Mano aquí en la columna, en la espalda baja. Inhale, let's stretch. Estiramos adelante. Let your head come up, la cabeza arriba. Good. And then exhale. Press the head into the hand. Vamos a apretar la cabeza en la mano. And then we'll pull up, 2, 3, arriba, 2, 3. Y ahora, abajo, 2, 1. So push through the back heel. Arriba, 2, 3. Y ahora, abajo, 2, 1. Y arriba, 2, 3. Finding la columna, arqueando. Good. And then one more time, arriba. Let's hold. Let the weight of the head, el peso de la cabeza, está estirando la axila. So the weight of the head is stretching your armpit. Good. Y ahora ponemos dos manos. You'll take two hands to your espalda inferior. And then come and stretch. Reach your head, la cabeza afuera. Shoulder blades together. Exhale, extend the two arms, really push through your talones, your heels. Feel the weight of the body held there. Beautiful. And then from here, use an exhale, step the back foot in, and then we're gonna start moving our weight through our hands and feet. So muy bien, brazos arriba. And then from here, let's exhale, take a forward bend. You can bring your fingertips to the floor for a moment and try. So feel your spine rounded for a minute. And then exhale, reach the tailbone up and your head out and feel the spine extend. As also the backs of the legs. Bueno, también las piernas están extendidas. Good. From here, bend the two knees. And then we're going to step your right foot and your left foot back for a moment. So into a plank pose. And the heels reach back. The tailbone pulls down. The belly pulls deep. And then we'll use an exhale to bring the hips up. Good. So now from here, let the right leg lift, keeping the hips steady and stable. Bend the knee. Doblamos la rodilla. And now you'll exhale. Place the right foot behind your right hand. Push the left back heel into the floor and we'll rise up. Good. So now, let's try this. So from a warrior one with two arms lifted, back heel engaged. Good. Los pies están estirando, juntando con el piso. So spreading out over the floor. And now we're going to exhale. Reach your right hip bone back as you extend the leg mientras extendiendo la pierna. And you're just going to let that hand here come for a moment. To your pie. I'm going to reach that same arm back. Create a little twist as I pull the shoulder blades together. Good. And from here, I'm going to let that arm come down. Two hands right back on your tobillo. And then I'll let my two hands walk out. Lift my back leg. A little stretch here. Good. Bend the back knee. And see about bringing my weight up on this leg. Good. Set the leg down. Inhale, brazos arriba. Vamos a estirar arriba. Y ahora bajamos. Good. So you can bend the knees, maybe round the back a little bit. And then exhale, extend the spine. Y también las rodillas, now also your legs. So from here, bend the knees, step the feet back, right and left paws. Good. And then if it feels nice, let the knees come down, let the chest open. Hold the elbows to your side. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lifting up. Take the hips back. Good. Y ahora la pierna izquierda arriba. So now you'll take the left leg up, bend the knee, lift the femur bone up a hair more. Y desde aquí nos ponemos el pie detrás de la mano. So you're going to take the hand behind the foot, push your back heel deep into the floor, mientras subiendo while you're coming up. Front knee bends, back knee straightens, and the thigh bone, el muslo, on that back leg lifts up in the hip socket. Good, so desde aquí vamos a estirar. You're going to stretch all the way out over this leg, Parsvottanasana. Reach that hip bone back. Good, draw your abdominales adentro. So you've got your abdominals pulling in. Muy bien. And now this left leg, so the arm of the front leg can reach first back behind you as you pull that sitting bone on the opposite leg back behind you. Good, a big stretch, abriendo el pecho. Good, and then from here, take that arm over and we'll set it down. Take your two hands to the floor. Gather your weight in your left leg. Letting that opposite leg lift for a moment. Pull the weight into your front foot. And exhale, find standing. Good, and then from here, let's just rock the weight. And we're gonna move to the center of the mat. Good, so take a second to loosen all of the body parts here. So through your fingers, por los dedos de la mano, dedos del pie, through your toes, muñecas, your wrists, ankles, tobillos. Good. And then let's hold some weight on one side. I'm going to start with the right side as my balance side. Press the right heel even into the floor. Open the left thigh. Feel the bones of your pelvis here. So you got a triangle right here in your, so you want to notice if one side is up or down, but a pretty balanced triangulo. Then you're going to pull the heel to the shin bone. Good. So then from there, keep that triangle, bring the arms up. Good. Sweep. See if you can connect, make that triangle, el triángulo right over the pelvis once again. Good. Sweep the arms around. And right back down. Good. Exhale, set that foot down. And then once again, just loosen your weight. So remember, these balance poses, all yoga poses are about energetic opposition, which just essentially is the creation of resistance, la resistencia. So now, left heel, anchor it into the floor. Vamos a subir el talón derecho, mientras girando afuera la pierna while you turn the leg out. Keep your pelvis equilibrada, and then you'll push the foot there into your espinilla. So pie y espinilla están empujando juntos, encontrando aquí el triángulo del pelvis equilibrada. So if I lose my balance, I'm just going to put the toe down and pick it right back up. Brazos afuera y ahora. Good. Afuera y ahora abajo. Really feel the push between the heels, one in the floor, one in the shin, and the leg. Let's take that down. Y once again, vamos a subir, relajar un poco la pelvis, la espalda. Muy bien. So now I'm going to take weight into my right heel once again. Vamos a subir el talón izquierdo. And then I'm going to lift this foot up, place the foot there on my thigh. So this is a different challenge. The muslo, now the thigh and the foot are pushing together. Good. And then from there, if you like, bring the brazos arriba, take your arms up. Good. Y ahora brazos abajo. And now that leg can just release and lower. And once again, just take your weight, move through your feet. Vamos a mover por los pies, los tobillos, las rodillas, etc. Good. So now left heel down or otro talón abajo. And now otro talón arriba. Lift it. Place the foot there on the thigh. Con la cadera equilibrada. Push the foot and thigh together. Y ahora brazos arriba. Now taking the arms up. Bueno, vamos a seguir respirando. So keep breathing. Breathe into the sensations. Good. Encontrando la resistencia, finding the resistance in your pose. Exhale con los brazos abajo. Y ahora we'll put the foot on the floor. And once again, vamos a mover todo el cuerpo. Good, so I'm gonna now turn it to the other side of my mat. Move up this way, inhale, brazos arriba, tailbone down. Big breath, and then exhale, move my thigh bones back, stretch my arms back for a moment. Let my arms continue to stretch back as I take my head down. Good, and maybe let the palms come together here for just a momentito. Good, now your two hands are gonna come into the floor, bend the knees, and we'll step your feet back into a plank. And now in this plank, let the knees come down, elbows to the sides of the body, lift your head and chest, vamos a subir, y desde aquí, arriba, lift your hips and tail all the way up. Good, para elongar, to lengthen la columna. Lift the left leg, bend the knee, place the foot here, detrás de la mano. Foot behind the hand, turn the opposite toes out. Good, y subimos. Good, so now aquí, brazos sobre las piernas. Warrior 2. Stretch away from your bent leg. Vamos a estirar. Bueno. Hacia la pierna recta. Y ahora arriba. So now I'm going to take my elbow for a moment. Just down, top arm, over my ear. Let the palm face down, la palma abajo, but try to open the armpit up. So again, we've created some resistance. You could even try to take your gaze up towards your pinky. Good. Now from here, this hand comes down, the opposite hand stretches, arm moves up, triangle pose, la postura del triángulo. Good. And then once again, we're gonna bend this knee, top arm over the ear. You can stay here or try to bind the pose by bringing the hand detrás de la espalda and the other hand detrás de la espalda. Good. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Good. So instead of being here with the hips back, try to bring your cadera adelante and your cabeza, your head back. Beautiful. Take the right arm out. Your left arm out 1 foot, top hand to the hip. Step your feet in. And then walk your left hand out as you raise the right leg up in the air. And then focus for a moment on getting the heel of your bottom leg right under your sitting bone. Good. So talón debajo del isquillón. And then you can take your top arm, your gaze up, your vista, tu pulgar. Good. And then from here, set that foot back down. So now you could just push up into standing or bind this pose again. Step the back foot in and then push. And remember, it's all about pushing through the heel. As you lift, keep that singular focus there for a moment. And then exhale and extend the top leg. Do we get it? Muy bien. Doblamos la rodilla. Ya está. Bailamos, bailamos, bailamos. So dance it out. And then we're going to go to the other side of the mat and try that sequence. So remember, pause anywhere in a sequence and try to stay focused on what are the sensations, right, that make that pose. Brazos arriba, arms up. And then exhale, vamos a extender la cabeza afuera. Now your fingertips down. Step your feet back, right and left. This time you could bend the knees if you'd like, or just lower, finding that place where your shoulder blades come together. Inhale up and exhale atrás. Good. Y ahora vamos a subir la pierna derecha. So I'm going to let my right leg lift, bend the knee, pull it up just a hair more. And now take my right foot, mi pie derecho detrás de la mano derecha. So right foot behind the right hand. Back toes are going to turn out. Left hand spirals up. So ahora, warrior 2. Doblando afuera la rodilla. So you're opening the knee out while it bends. Pulling the opposite hip back. Good. So again, always a resistance, always a tension. So it's about discovering where it is. Vamos a estirar hacia la pierna recta. So you're going to turn or reach, alcanzar towards your back leg. Y ahora arriba otra vez. Now your codo abajo, so the elbow comes down. Top arm up. Good, you can pull the palm down, but the armpit up. Take your gaze up. Good, now top hand to the hip. And then vamos a estirar. You're going to stretch your front leg. La pierna adelante. Good, and then check your hips right here. You want to really pull your hips underneath you. Mientras moviendo la cabeza atrás while you pull your head back. So now once again, I'm going to bend my front knee. And then if it feels good, take Utthita Hasta Parsva Konasana otra vez, or try the bind con las manos juntos detrás de la espalda. Good. And just feel that Where's the work? Push through both heels, supporting, apoyando el peso del cuerpo. Good. So now undoing our two hands, hand to the top hip. Let's step the back foot in, el pie atrás, adelante, and now your bottom hand afuera. And now I'm gonna push into my heel while I extend the opposite leg up. Muy bien. Pull your two shoulder blades together. Good. Top arm up. If you like, you can take your gaze down and up a couple of times. And now we're gonna set that top leg down. Good, so just push up into standing if that's where your body's at, or if you wanna try this bind again. And now I'm gonna move my weight into my back leg by stepping it underneath me. Good, and then I'm gonna push weight into my left heel. And then vamos a extender la pierna arriba. Good, doblando la rodilla, bend the knee, release, and roll all that weight out. Muy bien. Okay, so let's now try placing a little blanket here in the center of your mat. And we'll do some other things. So this is my right side, mi lado derecho. And I'm gonna take my knees, slowly bend down. And then from here, once I feel like I've got some control, I'm gonna set my knees down, turn the tops of my feet over, and then tap. Voy a tocar el piso con la tapa del pie. So you're gonna touch the floor, tap the floor with the top foot. Y ahora, con la tapa del pie with the top of the foot, same thing. Otro lado, other side. Y ahora, dos pies. Good. Now pull the tailbone underneath you. And hands here on your low back. You can bring your deditos arriba, your fingertips up. Y estiramos arriba. And then after a couple breaths, bringing yourself back up. Now I'm going to take my hands to my muslos. So these are hands to your thighs. And then same thing, I'll pull muslos arriba and then let my head float back. So recuerda, siempre hay resistencia. Remember, there's always resistance. In your Ustrasana camel pose, the thighs pull forward and up, and the spine and the head stretch back. So hands on the low back, hands on your muslos, your thighs, or hands, manos en los talones. And that same thing is true here. Thighs are reaching up, muslos arriba. Muy bien, and then we push through the heels to lift back up. Good. So now I'm gonna turn actually this way just a little bit and we'll work on a side plank. So I'm gonna take my two arms up and then out. So we're gonna go Parigasana gate pose into a side plank. So this is my left leg out. Voy a estirar en esta dirección. I'm gonna stretch towards the leg. And then same thing, instead of letting the armpit fall forward, raise it up. Take my gaze up to my meñique. Your gaze up to your pinky finger. Oh, and feel that whole stretch por la espalda. Now we'll come right back up. Stretch your costillas, so reach your ribs in the opposite direction. Reach your right arm out as far as you can. So you should feel your obliques. Your obliques are working here. I'm gonna pull that hand, reach it slightly out from my shoulder. Push through the hands to really feel my shoulders stabilize here. And then let that bottom leg pull underneath me. 5 breaths. Good, so there's a world where you start to let the hips descend. So you feel them right underneath your rib cage, debajo de las costillas. 2 respiraciones más. Hand to your hip. Push through your top foot to let the bottom leg come down. And then we're going to reverse those steps. All the way over. Estirando. Muy bien. Y ahora con your pierna arriba otra vez. So let's try that on the other side. Remember, patience with each like difficult pose. And again, inquiry, curiosity over mastery. So what are the sensations? ¿Qué están las sensaciones? ¿Cómo se hace? How do you build this pose? Parikasana. Top arm over the ear. Estamos estirando por las costillas, por los dedos. Puedes mirar en el meñique arriba. You can look at your pinky finger. Good. Y nos levantamos. We bring ourselves up. Once again, and now I'm going to stretch las costillas. So reach your rib cage out and to really feel obliques, till you really feel the obliques. Then the hand can come down. The shoulder, a little bit back from the wrist. Good. And then from here, so just stay here or perhaps lift your top leg, whatever is the side plank of your dreams. And then pull, if you'd like, your bottom leg, bueno, debajo de la pierna encima. Good, so look at your pinky finger, your meñique on the bottom hand, and then on the top hand. So estamos haciendo libre your cuello, el cuello, the neck. Good, I really feel that shoulder working. I'm gonna push now down through my top foot and then let this leg move under me once again, all the way back up. Okay, so now I'm gonna turn towards the opposite side, that's my left side, and take a slow plank down to the floor here to work on some baby back bends. So aquí, I'm gonna stretch right leg out, left leg out, good. And then slowly let my spine come down. If you need to, lower the knees, then lower the hips, and then let your head and chest float to the floor. Good, so let's start with just an exhale. So this is almost like a reflex that we want to train the body to maintain. So before you lift your head, your tailbone should pull down. So let the head, la cabeza, is gonna come up. When you feel all those spinal extensors connected, then squeeze your scapula together y vamos a subir las manos. So then you'll lift your hand. Good. And just breathe into that for a moment. And then from here, set the hands down. También la cabeza. And then reflex number 2, you're going to pull the navel in, the tailbone down, and then lift the 2 legs up. Good. Con las piernas arriba with your legs up, vamos a doblar. You're going to bend the right knee. Let it move back in. Bend the left knee. Vamos a doblar la rodilla izquierda. And then out once again. Now bend. Doblamos 2 rodillas. Muy bien. Now set the thigh bones down. And keep the knees bent. Con las rodillas todavía dobladas. And now I'm going to take my arms, reach back, and see about maybe tapping my heels here for a moment. Maybe I reach my heels, maybe my tobillos. And from there, tuck the shoulder blades onto the back. So tailbone down, head and chest lift, tailbone down again, and then muslos arriba. So you can take a little dhanurasana. Lifting, lifting, lifting. Good. Now you can try a little Parsva. This is a lead through the thighs. Good, so they reach, twisting the spine, or when you turn them to one side. Y desde aquí vamos a hacerlo otro lado. So you're just rolling through your side. Muy bien, desde aquí you'll come back through Dhanurasana, lift the thighs, and now extend the arms. Extend the legs, reaching back. If you can keep the shoulder blades moving back, now take the arms forward, Shalabhasana. 5 breaths. Good, so now we're gonna push your hands. Vamos a empujar otra vez las manos detrás de los hombros. So you're gonna push your hands under your shoulders. Exhale, lift your chest. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now lift the hips, hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now lift the rodillas. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now lift the tailbone up. Muy bien. So from my tailbone lifted, I'm going to try this. Take your right foot across your body and then reach your hips back. Get a little stretch in the IT band. Good. Vamos a hacerlo otro lado. You'll try that on the other side. So I'm going to take my left leg across my body, estirando my IT band. Good. And then from here, I'm going to move my hips slightly forward and then just pivot around so I'm coming into a seated position, and we'll work on a little bit of boat poses. Bueno, botes. Here we go. So take your hands for a moment to your espinillas and then move your spine, your columna, adelante. Good. Inhale, nos sentamos arriba, so now we'll sit up. And then exhale, raise the arms out. And then I want you to move your spine back till you feel your palms floating. Las palmas flotando sobre las rodillas. So you're right over your knees. And again, the belly is connected. Now take the hands to the knees. Just breathe. Good. And then from there, you can extend a knee. Try to keep your spine right where it is. Y ahora abajo, vamos a extender otra rodilla. Extend the other knee. Good. Y ahora abajo. Now if you like, dos rodillas. Good. So then from here, move the hands to the inner thighs. Talones juntos, heels together. Arms moving up. So push, empujamos palmas y empujamos talones. And from here, you can estirar adelante. You can come and stretch forward. So that engagement through the heels is going to give you a deeper opening in the hips. Muy bien. Good. So now from here, try to find your core by just lifting your spine up. Brazos arriba. Now you're going to open your two legs out. And now I'm going to put my elbows to the inner thighs. Stay right here, or if you can, bring your arms behind your back. Now there's some tricks to making your hands come together. One is that the feet need to walk a little bit more over your shoulders. Muy bien, desde aquí, so from here, voy a subir otra vez, taking my arms right back up. Y ahora now I'll take my hands to the outsides of my feet and walk my talones adentro. So I want you to walk your heels as close to your sits bones as you can. Y nos sentamos arriba, so sitting all the way up. Good. So now try to shift your weight as little as possible as you lift one leg and pull back. So vamos a alar atrás por el brazo and from your shoulder blade. So just feel that action. Shoulder blade pulls back, heel, el talón está estirando afuera. Good. Desde aquí vamos a doblar. You're going to bend the knee, bring it in. Otro pie. So you're going to let the opposite leg extend, reach through the heel. Good. Estirando por el talón. And now that heel comes down. So you'll exhale, nos sentamos arriba. Pull yourself back up. Try to pull two heels up. And then all the while, your weight is going to tip back, but you're going to aim to keep it in the center of your sitting bones. Right? So queremos estar en el centro de los isquiones. con el peso balanceado entre las dos. Good, so now from there, bring your 2 feet in and you can hug the arms out, hands to the outsides of the feet and really estirar muy bien through your brazos. So now let the feet bajar, let the feet come down. And once again, you're in a little Baddha. Okay, so I'm gonna now swap my, take my sits bones off of my manta and we'll work on some headstand. So there's phases of a pose and then there's modifications. So una fase que quieres. So we can go through stages and then you can also think about how you might modify. So supported headstand is a triangle pose. So you can do these stages and then work there, or you could take your forearms to the floor. So remember, those are the things we're working on. So I'm gonna take my 2 elbows, first push them down and feel them right there in line with my shoulders, codos alineados con los hombros. And now I'm gonna bring my fingertips together con los dedos entrelazados. And then I'm gonna push my antebrazos, my forearms to the floor. So just working on these sensations is really good to begin your headstand. Now la cabeza abajo. So now you'll take your head down and feel the weight in el centro de la cabeza. So feel your weight in the center of your head, you know. And now lift your 2 legs up. So again, you could just be here and then potentially working on lifting your head off of the floor. So you really feel those muscles. Good. And then when you feel ready, you could bend a knee, perhaps bend the other knee. And then the first thing we'll do is try to just take the knees right over your hips. So the intention being, get your thigh bones vertical, los muslos verticales. And then from there, you'll try to take the shin bones, espinillas verticales. Good. And then when you feel like your shin bones are vertical, then send the heels, los talones al techo. So the heels go to the ceiling. And then you can kind of feel, where is your pelvis? And just breathe. You could take one leg a little bit forward if you wanted. Reach it back up. Take the other leg, adelante. And then reach it back up. You could now take 2 legs, adelante. So if the legs move forward, then the navel moves in. The hips can move slightly back. And from here, you can just slowly bring the legs back down to the floor. Push, push, push. So pushing through your heels, estirando por el cuello. And then we're gonna come and do the reverse of that. So once again, I'm just gonna let the hips move to the floor through that little spiral. Take my hands behind my thighs for a moment, and then slowly, slowly guide the weight, guiar el peso de mi cuerpo towards the floor. Good. From here, leaving your shoulder blades, los omoplatos en el piso. I'm gonna push my arms down, drop, voy a dibujar mis costillas adentro, so ribs in. And now the legs up. So you could just extend the heels towards the sky or start to extend the heels towards the wall behind you. Let me move here so I have some space. Good. Extend the heels from this position towards the wall behind you while you pull the belly in. Good. So pause for a moment in a halasana. Perhaps walking the shoulder blades a little bit more together. Good. Now you can pull the elbows, codos abajo, and then forearms up, hands to the hips, manos a la cadera. Now move to begin, move the hips into the hands slightly. That's to keep the weight off of your neck while you're really doing moving. So if your pelvis is really far forward here, that's, I think, too much weight on your neck while you're trying to get your pose. So from here, I'm gonna start, same thing, bend my knees, then move my knees over my hips, try to find verticality. And then extend my 2 legs. Try to extend the heels towards the sky. And then from there, so if that's all starting to feel good, then I'm gonna exhale, lift my legs against, putting the heels up in the ceiling. I'm feeling that energy through the backs of my legs. Good, so in no way do I wanna put unnecessary pressure on my hips. So now I'm gonna let one leg come down as the opposite heel is reaching. And then exhale, pull it up, 2, 3. Other leg is gonna lower. Good, so again, energetic opposition. One heel rises up as the opposite heel stretches out to the wall, a la pared. Un talón al techo, otro a la pared. Y ahora 2 talones arriba. And then I'm gonna reach, and take my hands back down and lower my deditos del pie to the floor. And then slowly let the bones and hueso de mi cuerpo puede volver. Good, and then ponemos, so you can try 2 different things here. Place the feet on the floor, push your codos en el piso también, elbows down. Come onto the top of the head, be here. If you can balance on the top of the head, sin problema, without any problem. Manos afuera, take your arms out, palmas juntas, and then also your legs. 5 breaths. Good. Exhale, release the feet. Relajando los brazos, so you'll take the arms down. Last pose. So everybody could practice a little Setu Bandha Sarvangasana, lifting the hips, walking the shoulder blades together, and then you can then take your heels, talones a las manos, so your heels to your hands, push the pelvis up. 5 breaths. Good, and then we can slowly let those bones return to the floor. Brazos arriba, take your arms all the way up. And then you can bring your fingertips back towards the body. So again, if you're not gonna lift up, there's phases to each pose. This is phase 1 of your Urdhva Dhanurasana. So try to be comfortable here, or find comfort here, I should say. Then lift your hips. If lifting the hips feels okay, then lift and rest on the top of the head. If that feels okay, then stretch and reach up. Take 10 breaths. Good, and then we'll come down to the top of the head. Move your pelvis down. Take the 2 legs, hook into a Garudasana shape, so right leg's on top, and then take the legs to the right and your gaze to the left. Pull in with your abdominal muscles, and then cambiamos la posición, change the position of your 2 legs. Las piernas a la izquierda y your mano, and then your vista a las manos, to your right hand, mano derecha. Good, so just a deep stretch through your chest. Y desde aquí vamos a subir otra vez. You'll lift up once again. And then let the soles of the feet pull together. And your legs are going to move wide. And we'll just take a few breaths to clear the practice. And then from here vamos a manejar los dedos de la mano, dedos del pie. Y circulamos las muñecas y los tobillos. Vamos a estirar, you'll stretch through the arms y también por las piernas. And then we'll pull, vamos a alar. Bueno, piernas y brazos sobre el pecho. Giramos a un lado, empujando arriba. And then we'll just come and sit. Con las piernas cruzadas. Tu práctica es un regalo. Your practice is a gift. Thanks, everybody. Muchas gracias. Disfruta el día. Namaste.